Hi, I'm Keira Zikmanis. I'm a registered clinical counselor here on the unceded territory of the Lekwungen people, so the Esquimalt, Songhees, and Wasanich nations, also known as Victoria, BC. So the next question we have here is, how can I have a healthy balance between work and my mental health? And what I want to say first is that this is just such a valid concern. We spend most of our day at work, most of our day around the people at work, and it makes sense that that environment that we're in, the people we work with, and the work we're doing, of course, is going to impact our mental health and well-being. We also live in capitalism where, in our society, we're told that our worth is bound up in what we do and what we do for work. It's the first question people ask you when you meet. It's like, what do you do? There's a lot to unpack there, and there's really no easy answer. But I am going to talk about a few things that you can do within this kind of really unsupportive system we live within. This isn't always possible, but whenever you can, try to find or choose a work environment that is a healthier environment. Looking for some green flags or indicators of a healthy work environment. Some of these are things like your coworkers and your boss maybe work a manageable schedule. There's regular hours and there's kind of a manageable workload that's doable. There's low turnover. Maybe there's people who've been there for a long time. That can often be a good sign, not always. If there are interpersonal issues, they're taken seriously. So if there's abuse happening, it's taken seriously, it's investigated, the person who's being abused is supported. Of course, also like when you're paid well and you're given time away, that's also a good one, but it's hard to find. And also another green flag is, a work environment where your sick days are respected. So I think we've all probably worked somewhere where when someone takes a day off when they're sick, people kind of grumble about it, or there's questioning of whether they needed that day and it's not really respected. Work environments where healthy time away is supported, that's another green flag to look for. And then, some red flags of an unhealthy work environment might be there's a lot of disrespect between people. There's a lot of burnout. What that looks like is people feel really maxed out and maybe apathetic or unable to kind of show up in their work, but feeling really just shut down. Again, just this culture around not taking time off. So this culture of overwork. Another thing that's super important here is paying attention to your own limits and your own capacity. So noticing when you might be feeling extra stressed, feeling tired, feeling irritable. These are all indicators that you might be approaching your limit. And when you are approaching that limit, setting boundaries is really important as well. So if your boss asks you to do something and your day is full, saying no, saying I can't do that today, or asking for help, asking for someone else to take that on. And I do want to acknowledge that it can be really hard to do that, especially in work environments that aren't supportive. But that's, again, another indicator. If you set a boundary and it's not respected, then that might be a sign that you're in an unhealthy work environment. Because if you're in a supportive environment, your boss is going to want you to succeed and want you to get things done kind of within a reasonable time frame. They're going to want to support you. The last one I want to say is, again, just use those sick days. Now in BC, we all have 5 paid sick days, and I wish it was more, but I'm glad we have those. And whenever you're feeling unwell, physically or mentally or otherwise, just encourage you to take those days to use them. I think another really important thing is just making sure that in your off time, when you're not at work, that you are able to engage in things that bring us joy and that recharge us and that connect us with ourselves, and things that feel nourishing. Things like maybe creative pursuits or hobbies, spending time with people you love, or being in nature. Anything that kind of brings you that spark of joy is also super important.